Hello, folks. Welcome to MLS Matchday 24 prediction video. Something weird going on. So basically, I thought this was going to be Matchday 23 video, but this is Matchday 24. I guess we're already surpassed Matchday 12. No, 23. I don't know. But let's get through it. Orlando taking on Montreal at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Orlando coming off a draw with Charlotte, a great result there. They take on Montreal, who came off a 4-1 loss to Miami. Huge game. I'm going to go Orlando 3-0. Charlotte taking on New York City Football Club at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Charlotte drew with Orlando, of course, and New York City coming off a big 3-1 win against Toronto. This should be huge. And also, we're told that New York City Football Club have signed a midfielder from the Spanish League, La Liga. Not sure if he'll make his debut in Charlotte or we'll see him in match day 25. So that's going to be interesting to see. But being played in Charlotte, I think Charlotte's going to try to get a better result than what happened last week. I'm going to go Charlotte winning it 2-1. Toronto taking on Atlanta at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Atlanta coming off a draw with DC United, and they are heading to Toronto to take on a team that just lose 3-1 to New York City Football Club. Give me Atlanta winning it 2-0. Hell is real. We're back in Cincinnati. It is Cincinnati taking on Columbus at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. This should be for real. And again, hell is real. It's always the rivalry between these two Ohio teams. Cincinnati coming off a 2-1 win at home against Chicago. Meanwhile, for Columbus, they traveled to the Pacific coast and drew with Seattle. These two have great history, but being played in Cincinnati, I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw between two teams that hated each other. Philadelphia taking on New York Red Bulls at 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. Philadelphia coming off a 1-0 loss to Nashville. They welcome New York Red Bulls, who came off a draw over there in San Jose. Should be a great one. I'm going to go with Philadelphia to rebound a 2-1 win. Miami taking on Nashville at 7:45 p.m. Eastern game. This is a huge one for Nashville because they're on a 15-game unbeaten streak, and they got to go to Miami and take on a red-hot Inter Miami team. This should be fascinating. I'm going to say Miami's going to pull it off. Lionel Messi will score the game winner. I'm going to go Miami 2, Nashville 1. Chicago taking on San Diego at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Chicago coming off a tough road loss to Cincinnati. But for San Diego, I would say they could have got a point, but they came off a loss, a huge loss against Houston. Should be a great game. I'm going to go a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be close, but I think 2-2 will make sense. Minnesota taking on San Jose at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Minnesota coming off a 2-1 win against Dallas, while for San Jose came off a draw with New York Red Bulls. Give me a draw. I think it's going to be close, 1-1 draw. Austin FC taking on New England at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Revolution coming off a 2-1 loss to Portland, while for Austin, unfortunately, they did not play their match against LAFC due to the Texas Storms. So now we'll see it. And I think this should be close, but I think Austin wins it 2-0 against New England. Kansas City taking on Seattle at 8:30 p.m. Eastern game. Kansas City coming off a 2-1 win against Colorado. They welcome Seattle, who came off a point against Columbus. Should be a great one, but I'll go Seattle winning it 3-1. Real Salt Lake taking on Houston at 9:30 p.m. Eastern game. Real Salt Lake coming off a thriller against St. Louis 3-2. They welcome Houston, who just got a huge win against San Diego 3-4. This is a trap game for Houston, so I'm going to go with Real Salt Lake winning it 2-0. Colorado take on Vancouver at 9:30 p.m. Eastern game. I mentioned Colorado coming off a tough loss to Kansas City. They welcome Vancouver, who came off a upset loss to the LA Galaxy. Yikes. This is a must-win for Vancouver if they're going to want to be the top first place in the West. I'm going to go Vancouver winning it 2-0. LA Galaxy take on DC United at 10:30 p.m. Eastern game. The Galaxy shocked the world, beating Vancouver. Wow. They welcome DC United, who fired their coach and now is going with their interim head coach, and we could expect some changes at DC. But I'm going to go LA Galaxy winning it 2-1. LAFC taking on Dallas at 10:30 p.m. Eastern game. LAFC will look to have a good result in this one as they welcome Dallas, who come off a 2-1 loss to Minnesota. Unfortunately for LAFC, they did not play against Austin, so tough one. But I'll give this a 2-0 win against Dallas. Sorry for that interruption. I had that interruption, so my apologies. I'll go LAFC winning it 2-0 to Dallas. Let's go to Sunday Night Soccer. Will be at Apple TV. St. Louis taking on Portland at 7 p.m. This is a rematch of that Matchday 18 game that had some thrillers since, of course, St. Louis fired their coach and things were a bit complicated. As I was saying, Portland coming off a 2-1, a big win against New England, 2-1. While for St. Louis, thriller game against Real Salt Lake out of the way. So again, rematch of that match day 18, and it should be a thriller also. St. Louis playing really well, but they're dropping some points, of course. Being played in St. Louis, I believe this is played in St. Louis. Yes, being played in St. Louis. They have to get this win. If they can't get this win, there's going to be some conflict over there in St. Louis. But I'm going to go Portland winning it 2-1. And that's it, folks. That is my MLS Matchday predictions. Hello there. If you have not seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more sports news.